What's good, everyone? Appreciate y'all tuning back in with me. Sorry, I know it's been a minute. Forgive me if I sound a little off today or this time. I'm still getting used to some pretty major dental work I recently had done. So besides that, as always, appreciate y'all tuning back in with me. So today we got the clubs. Real quick, I want to shout out Master Knight DH again for the comment on the last tier list video where he posted the speeds tier list. I guess, well, not speeds tier list, but like the stats listings. Let me see. I got all my shit right here for the clubs today. Let's see. This is all for anyone that's interested. This is all range damage right here, and this is going from up close to far away for each and every one of these. So with Babel starting off up close, you're getting up to 136 furthest away. With that last hit on the multi-hit string, you're only getting about 12, and then so on and so forth with the rest of them. With Atlas, for instance, that's one of the clubs that's stronger at a distance. You're getting 59 up close, 73 from far away, and same thing with Or. Most of Or club gets stronger over a distance. I think clubs generally are supposed to, and then you got a couple exceptions, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah, again, real quick shout out to Master Knight DH for the speed listings on the clubs, because yeah, as far as the other stats, let me see. Yeah, the spreadsheet I have here, I'm not sure what everybody actually references. I just picked this up from Chrome Noir's like tutorial video from like a year ago, but yeah, it shows pretty much everything you'd want to know about a weapon, I think, minus the movement speed. So yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you again, Master Knight DH, for posting that. I guess, yeah, with clubs, yeah, they help a lot, because with claws, for instance, like every other class I've ranked so far, it has pretty, yeah, if not just average speed, then above average like claws. So with clubs, I guess that kind of helps out a bit. And really, yeah, with clubs, I mean, yeah, actually that really does, because I also forgot that dude also kind of broke down how like charge times work in this game, and how you can basically speed up your charge time with dodging in this game. And I think it's supposed to work the best for the clubs, because obviously they've the longest charge times typically, and then they don't have any continuous fire to spam in between that, so it's really helpful for them, so I'll give them that. But yeah, other than that, starting off with the Or club, let's see. You, my friend, I think you're a solid right now, this is a solid C pick. It's not like, honestly, I want to put it in D, but it's just I guess using it as the benchmark for clubs. I don't think any of the clubs can be inherently bad, just because of the sheer damage output. It's kind of like how I was saying with like claws, for instance, or really I guess every other class has, yeah, so far has at least one weapon in D tier. But yeah, I was thinking kind of like claws, it's just hard for them to be innately or inherently bad. So, but using it as the benchmark, and like yeah, using it as a club benchmark, I would put it in D tier. But comparing it to everything else in D tier, it still might. Yeah, I guess. Well, if I change my mind later in the video, we'll bump it up, because I want to give it benefit of the doubt. But I feel like, you know, now that I'm a little more than halfway through the tier list at this point, I feel like I've been maybe a little too generous to some of these weapons, or maybe not giving them enough credit. You know, it's a tier list at the end of the day, so I can only be so objective, especially with so many weapons. But anyway, and then yeah, all these weapons, I mean, we're all essentially playing the same game. It's just, yeah, what different properties do you have on your projectiles, and do you have continuous fire or not in this case? So but yeah, Or club, yeah, I'd say for the benchmark, solid D tier. It's just the shots are really slow. It's a club, so I mean, charge time. What's the typical charge time? Like, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. 4-second charge time, whereas average on say like first blade 2.5 seconds. What's violet palms? Yeah, 1.5 seconds. Even on the other strong weapon classes like insight staff, yeah, insight staff is way stronger, and then has half the charge time. So that's the main thing with a lot of these clubs. The charge time is just really bad. Like yeah, we'll get into Babel Club in a second, but yeah, really bad charge time, slow shot speed. I typically only use clubs in light versus dark. I mean, generally I usually only play light versus dark, but even though I said at the beginning of this tier list light versus dark is going to be taken into account more than free for all, just because that's what I play personally the most. I have gotten into a 1v1 free for all again recently with Crumnor, and I mean, yeah, I was getting my shit pushed in because, like, yeah, he was just using a lot more well, I won't say he was using more optimized sets, I guess. Like, I don't know. I was just getting my ass beat, honestly. That dude's just too good. I can't really come up with too many excuses on that one. But yeah, I was trying to test out some of my clubs for this upcoming video, and it was just, yeah, I was just getting danced around by pretty much anything he was using, whether it was a blade, pair of claws, palm, or what have you. So yeah, I would prefer faster shots on even on these weapons, just because, yeah, like I wouldn't even really try to rely on dash charge shot. Like, I was just standing charge shot, quick charge, and just try to make the most out of it and try to approach my opponent, and I don't know, maybe even mix some melee in there a bit. And then yeah, really, I think the thing with club standing charge shots in general is they don't have a lot of homing, or at least not as much as their dash shots. Some of them, like Black Club and Capricorn and Hydra, kind of do. Yeah, some of them kind of do, but like I know, for instance, like Ogre Club, I thought had something on its standing charge shot, but I just recently learned from the spreadsheet here that it has absolutely like no homing on that shit. So I was just like wasting my fucking time. So yeah, that's another bad part with clubs in general. It's just it's really gonna, where I rank these is widely gonna depend on how good their standing charge shot is, just because of how slow the dash charge shots generally are. They're not really, you just can't hit anybody with them, really. That's the main thing. I bring up the difference between light versus dark and 1v1s or free for all because, yeah, if you got a lot more people on the map, or you're on a team and you're not worried about, an uprising, or I don't think it's on the settings. I may have forgotten, honestly. I haven't checked the multiplayer settings in a minute, but yeah, I don't think there's friendly fire at all. At least in the like in lobbies that you can make by yourself. I know in public lobbies and just online in general, yeah, there's no friendly fire. So between that and having like 3 dudes like on the other team, yes, it feels like somebody's bound to get hit if you're throwing out a slip shot dash charge on a Babel or a Black Club, and you're playing in like Desert Tomb or Cave of Spirits or something like that. Then okay, I'll give them that. But stuff like that, yeah, it is very situational. Whereas, sure, like the dash charge shots in those situations can be good, but then you have their standing charge shots, which are generally still going to be better. Maybe not. You might not get as much damage output, but like it doesn't even matter. Like if that shot just never reaches your target. Your target. Again, that I think I got like a slight list from my fucking dental surgery. Forgive me on that, but anyway. Yeah, not being able to hit your target, no matter how strong the charge shot is, it's just really bad. That's why I'm being really harsh with this benchmark placement. And I mean, I feel like I'm harking on it a bit too long, but yeah, it's just I want to emphasize that before I move forward with the rest of these, because although I don't think clubs can be inherently bad because the damage output is just some of the other properties, man. Like yeah, the shot speed and the charge times on these is just yeah, it's definitely one of if not the most polarizing weapon class in the game. I would give that to stats just because, you know what I'm saying, at least clubs have melee to kind of fend off claws and arm users, but yeah, it's just the speed and threat of their attacks is what's really setting them apart. Some of the properties, yeah, like I've been mentioning, the slow charge time and shot speed is what's really going to hold them back this video. So that's where I'm gonna leave the benchmark for the tier starting off. And like I said, I might change my mind later on down the line. But honestly, looking at it in D tier with everything else, I'd say it's right in place. It's just, yeah, everything I tried to break down from the differences between light versus dark and just what you can generally do with these, or excuse me, with Aura Club in particular. It's really just me trying to give it benefit of the doubt, but yeah, there's only so much I can do, because like every club's gonna have slow dash charge shots or even standing charge shots, and then from there it's just kind of, well, what do you have over Aura Club? Like, why would I use you over the other basic shit that is also really bad in those areas? So moving on to Babel Club, which I would say you would think like just above Aura Club, but honestly, it is just that strong. It is just that strong, and the multi-hit properties, like in tandem with status conditions, I think. Don't quote me on that. For some reason, I think multi-hit attacks would have an easier time or more probability of inflicting a status than a single shot. So I've seen people, I've tried it out myself with weakening on I don't know how I forgot the name of this shit already. Fucking Babel Club. Yeah, with something like weakening on Babel Club, it feels like somewhere along the standing charge shot and the multi hits, the weakening can activate, and then like the rest of the multi hits can then take advantage of the weakening. At least I think so, because I've seen like uninvested Babel clubs with just weakening, like no stars or anything, like no standing charge shot plus or dash charge shot plus, just weakening and no stars. I've seen this shit like Oko people, so that's why I'm thinking maybe that's why maybe that's why I've seen that before, or maybe that other player just had some sort of negative health or defense modifier. I'm not sure, but and also real quick, I forgot to mention on these damage calcs for the range, these are all going off of their standing charge shots, except for Atlas. Atlas is forward dash charge shot because it's quote unquote supposed to play like other weapons, I guess, and then its standing charge shot doesn't have innate slip shot like the rest of them. So there's that. But yeah, Babel Club, it is just that strong. I mean, its shots are even slower than Aura Club, so like, yeah, you would think like in the same tier, if not just a cut above Aura Club. But like I said, yeah, it really is just that strong. There really isn't much else I can say. It is just that strong. Like, yeah, the 5-second charge time is kind of ridiculous, but I mean, yeah, if you can connect those shots, man, I mean, they're very rewarding. That's all I can really say. And I mean, it's not really attributing to it too much, but I do like, again, it is one of my favorite weapons on those maps like Desert Tomb and Cave of Spirits, where you can kind of get away with being in one corner of the map and just tossing around fucking slip shot tornadoes and just hoping somebody gets homed in on it by hope one of them just homes in on whatever target is on the other team. And then, I mean, it really, because it's a multi-hit, like they can kill somebody and then turn around and hit them again upon respawn and shit like that. So that's pretty nice, but it's pretty gimmicky. It's not like the most optimal playstyle, obviously, just because everybody else is just going to be so much faster than your charge shots. So Yeah, can't give it too much credit for that. But even just looking at the standing charge shot and the damage output, I'd say solid B tier weapon. Obviously, yeah, if it wasn't, even without the continuous fire, if it wasn't for the 4-second charge time, like if it just had Aura Club's charge time, nah, I still say B. I still say B. It would have to have some like cracked out charge time in order for me to put it in A. Like fucking, not even a Capricorn tier, but like fucking Halo charge time would be ridiculous. But anyway, yep, that's Babel Club. Not too much else to say on it. I want to go over its idle. Well, yeah, I already know there's not really anything in these idle descriptions in particular. Shot cancellation. I was gonna add that to the list, but figured I'd just keep the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet up because I thought it'd be easier than listing off all the shot cancellations for each type of shot. And then yeah, I guess speed won't matter too much in this, just because I mean, yeah, it's generally a slow weapon class. Like the only ones where speed are gonna matter is the top 3. That's pretty much it. Aurum is like just barely, not unnoticeably faster than Aura. So like all these, I mean, yeah, they are in order, but I'll leave a, well, I would say I'll leave a link to the last video, but I'll probably like have it at the end of the video on the screen for anyone that wants to check out the last video and look at Master Knight DH's comment. He lists the exact speed values. Like Aura Club is supposed to be like 100, and then everything above it is like 10, like huge draw like 101, black would be 102, arm 107, and then these are like 120 and up. And then it caps at 150 with Magnus, and then Skyscraper goes to like 93 or 95 or something like that. So there isn't too much of a difference between Skyscraper and Aurum. So speed, the only ones I'm going to be giving a whole lot of credit for in that area is these 3, which are also the only ones I'm going to be given any kind of credit for melee for as well. Like sure, fucking Black Club is technically one of the strongest, but like it's just barely stronger than this or fucking Hydra, right? Or really no, Hydra is stronger than Black. So they're all kind of like the stronger melee clubs are all kind of relative. So it's like whatever, honestly. And it's not generally the class you use for melee just because of the lack of movement speed, but you do have Atlas, which gives a noticeably, it gives a speed boost noticeably different than Aura Club, as opposed to like everything in between them, right? Whereas yeah, the rest of these 3 through 5 just feel like Aura Club. Or not 3 through 5, 4 through 6. Yeah, the rest of these just feel like Aura Club. Atlas actually kind of feels like a Blade. And then Ogre, I thought for the longest time was a lot faster than Aura Club for some reason. I only just recently looked at the spreadsheet, or not the spreadsheet, but Master Knight DH's comment, and realized that, oh, okay, I was not tripping. In fact, it's actually faster than Atlas, which was crazy. So, and then yeah, funnily enough, yeah, you got the strongest melee club at 2nd place for speed, and then 1 and 3 are like kind of right next to it. So I can't give Black Club and Huge Draw too much credit. So that's I mean, sure, they're strong, but yeah, they don't have the other perks like these do. So yeah, I won't be giving them too much credit on the melee side of things. And yeah, I guess Babel Club's range distance is nice, but it weakens over distance. So that's the only bad part about well, I won't say the only bad part, but yeah, that's one of the things I forgot to bring up is, yeah, the shots weakening over a distance for Babel Club. I mean, it being strong up close is really nice because it's easier to land all the multi-hits up close, and so it also being stronger up close is pretty nice. That's generally how you're gonna get the most damage out of it. And then like, yeah, you're gonna want to be up close, if not maybe like mid-range anyway, just because nobody's really gonna be, even with the standing charge shot, like from far away, like nobody's really gonna be like just sitting there waiting for it to hit them. So yeah, I'd say between that, really, yeah, it getting weaker over a distance, I won't say it's like a huge deal. That's not too bad. So yeah, solid B tier placement for now. Next would be, what we got? Skyscraper. Skyscraper, I might have on the, I'm gonna have to really think about this one, because off rip I was thinking same tier as Or Club, but I don't know. It's like all I can really think is like, yeah, sure, it's strong. Like second place for an overall damage output, that's not bad, I guess. But yeah, again, it's kind of like Babel Club. Yeah, it's just drastically weaker over a distance. And then yeah, range distance ain't bad either. I mean, shit, charge time as expected. So yeah, there's really not too much else it has going for it, if anything, over Orc Load. Because I mean, yeah, it's got the damage output over Orc Club, sure, but then it's matching it in charge time. It's actually outclassed in movement speed. Again, I can't really give it any perks for melee, so, and then the shots are actually slower, I think. So it is really good up close. I mean, so is Babel Club, so can't give it too much credit for that. So honestly, I'd say a solid D tier pick, honestly. Yeah, I wanted to give it benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to have to put 2 weapons in D tier, but yeah, it is very similar to or Club, if not just straight up worse in some areas. So moving on to Atlas Club, that is an easy S tier pick. Just off rip, honestly, it might even be, I might even want to put it in SS, but I personally haven't played with it too much. I just know if you got enough shot range and shot homing with the homing boost power, then yeah, the forward dash or the dash shot is pretty much unavoidable. It's not a multi-hit like some other really strong homing shots are, like the Black Clubs is backward dash. It's not a multi-hit, so it's not like insanely broken, but it is pretty much unavoidable. Like it can loop back around on a target like multiple times. Like if you test it out on a mono eye, it won't hit multiple times, but once the hit passes through, it'll keep, the projectile will just keep circling until it dissipates, basically. So I can only imagine what it actually looked like in a multiplayer match. I'm sure I've been throttled by it at least once. It's one of the banned weapons on Discord, so that's really why I haven't seen it in action in a while. But yeah, I mean, one, I can just assume it's banned for a reason, but yeah, I haven't tested it out myself. I can also just see why from the range properties alone. And then it wants to have the the second strongest melee in the class, the best movement speed. Like yeah, it's, or yeah, third best movement speed too. Like yeah, it's kind of like Ninja Palm, where yeah, it has all this range. It has all these range attributes going for it, and then it has also really good speed and melee for its class. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, the homing on the forward dash is really just that good. I mean, it's already, damage wise, it's already a cut above Or Club, which is really nice, and then it gets stronger over a distance. But yeah, not much else to be stated really. It's that homing that's really pushing it over the edge. And I forgot to bring up shot cancellations, which outside of, really, I don't think any of these match Guardian Orbiters or Pudgy Palm's backward dash. And I think generally speaking, oh my goodness, I just realized I'm not even looking at the fucking anyway, I think generally speaking, the stabs outrank the clubs in terms of shot cancel. Yeah, I think in general they do. So but yeah, a few of them you can give a little extra credit for, like like Black Club and Arm Club mainly. But that's yeah, that's really about it. So yeah, I won't be looking at that too much. So yeah, I'd say Atlas, solid S, might. I mean, nah. I would say because it's banned, maybe SS like these two, but nah, it's not quite like that busted. Even though I don't think clubs can be inherently bad, unlike unless maybe these two. Actually, yeah, I might have to take that back. These two are just that bad. But even though I think that for the rest of them, I don't think any of them can be like inherently like SS. At least maybe until we get to this. But anyway. Next will be Earth Mall. Golly, as soon as I said that, I'm like, nah. Well, nah. I can't put you in D tier. I personally just don't really like it. I mean, the longest range is nice, but what I really have to give it credit for is that its damage stays the same over that whole distance. So that is really nice. I'll give it that. But I mean, longest range doesn't really amount to much when your shots are as slow as these, and I mean, yeah, nobody's really getting hit by your shit like that. And it doesn't have absurdly broken homing like like Atlas or hell, even Black Club or Capricorn, right? So yeah, it just feels very basic. It's just a real basic tool that you can use if you really want to hit somebody from that far away and can't aim with laser staff for whatever reason. So yeah, or I ain't gonna say like for whatever reason, but like still it has continuous fire too. Like you could just spam that, or do the same thing waiting for a charge shot, which yes, it's generally going to be a lot. That's the main thing really. Yeah, comparing it to laser staff, it's just like, why even use this? Longest range in the game, sure, but like this has longest range on continuous fire in the game, and then you're like a meter or two longer than its charge shot. Like, nah, I can't give you too much credit for that, but I guess at least your shots are faster than these two. And actually, yeah, the neutral damage ratio over a distance, I will have to give it to it on that. It is really nice. So other than that, very basic in every other category, like the charge time, movement speed, etc. So yeah, won't be looking at that too much, but yeah, like I said, it is pretty weak overall. This is just looking at the standing charge shot. So moving on to see Ogre Club. That's another weapon I was trying out against Chrome. Getting my shit pushed in. Like, it is fast for a club, but I mean, yeah, trying to close that gap with such a poor projectile game is just, it's tough. I mean, like I said, the clubs don't really have particularly strong shot cancellation. At least in comparison to like, yeah, mainly the arms and stabs are what's generally going to be up there for shot cancellation. And yeah, comparing it to those two, there's nothing really special in that aspect. And like I said, with the Ogre Club in particular earlier, the standing shot, which is the fastest shot, has no homing. You could kind of use the dash shots as a barrier to approach ish, but like they're really slow. I mean, I tried this thing out even with shot cancellation +1, and I just had my shit dissipated or canceled out by anybody else that just has faster shots. Like, they just shoot the shit down before it even gets to them, even these standing charge shots. So it's I mean, maybe it's what do the youngins say nowadays? Maybe it's a skill issue. Look, don't quote me. I'm not saying just because I was unsuccessful with shot cancellation, transparency, Ogre Club, that it's bad. Hey, somebody else might have a better time with it. But yeah, just going off of my personal experience, I would have to say C, but I mean, I know the melee is just that strong, so it doesn't really feel right putting it that low. And it's not like, Gal Blade that has the strongest range in its class. No, this shit has the strongest melee in the game, so I can't really. And then yeah, on top of the innate speed boost, I can't really discredit it too much for its shit projectile game. It's just Yeah, I mean, it's a club. It's just hard to use, hard to approach with mainly. So that's the main thing. Yeah, if you're wanting the melee weapon to really pull up on somebody with, yeah, you're gonna use these or samurai blade. So yeah, sheer damage output. I mean, it's nice, but you can slap so many stat modifiers and powers onto other melee weapons that they'll eventually match this thing. It's just nice if you want to not have to worry about all the investment and instead focus on other attributes or powers. Then okay, it is good for that, just because the base damage output is just that raw. But that's about all it has going for it, really. So moving on to I was gonna say I'm on the wrong sheet, but okay, yeah, Halo Club. Let's see, Halo Club. Because Capricorn is banned on Discord, that does bump Halo Club up, in my opinion, a little bit, because I didn't even really take into account until I started playing on Discord that this thing's charge time speed is actually kind of nice. It's actually kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Capricorn overshadows it just because of how broken it is, but Halo ain't bad either. Like, yeah, on Discord where this is banned, yeah, I'd say Halo's not a terrible option. Its shots are actually kind of fast, unlike most other clubs. Again, quick charge time and innate paralysis ain't bad either. Just y'all know how I am about innate status, just in general. So that's already just a free point in my book. So yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, I know it's backward dash creates a nice barrier. I guess that's something, but nothing too unique. Overall, really low damage output. Yeah, if it was like Ore Club levels and damage output, I'd say probably an A tier weapon. But yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, the Phosphorable of the clubs, but yeah, without the movement speed or the ridiculously fast charge shots and shit. So yeah, that's about as good as it gets for me. Let's see, Black Club. You're definitely one of my favorites, but like, gosh, man, it's just like borderline unusable sometimes. I swear, like it is really good. Like, at least I think so. Like, I've seen it in some games and on some maps, and I think, like, yeah, with the right team support maybe, or under the right footing, it can get going. It can get going, and then, like, yeah, its backward dash is really good. It's like I don't know, I guess you can consider it like one of the best anti-evasion hits or attacks in the game. Because, yeah, it's definitely going to burn up somebody's Bumblebee for sure. Like, you're not about to just sit there and abuse +4 evasion and get through that. At least I don't think so. I haven't seen it done successfully. But, yeah, that's one niche I guess it has going for it. And then that and its standing charge shot, having 6 on shot cancellation value is really nice. Because I think with the only thing giving it competition in shot cancellation is really the Arm Club, which, yeah, it doesn't have 6 on standing charge shot, which is really nice. I'll give it that too. So between shot cancellation 6 on the standing charge shot and the multi-hit backward dash, and just how strong the homing is, and it gets stronger over distance like Ore Club. So, like, it is, like, you would think it's really good, but then, yeah, the shots are just slower than Ore Clubs. The shots are just that slow. Like, yeah, it has everything for me to want to put it at least in B, but then the shots are just that slow. It's not quite as strong as Babel Club. And then, honestly, yeah, I think even Babel Club shots are even faster. Yeah, this shit is just really that slow. It's just not much else I can say about it, really. Great damage output, great homing. It's got a niche with the backward dash multi-hit and the shot cancellation on the standing. But, I mean, you'll pretty much never hit anybody with this shit. So, what can I say? No, I mean, yeah, I know you got powers like quick charge, invisible shots, but even with invisible shots, I mean, even with invisible shots, I guess, like, the dash charge shots, because it's one of my favorite weapons because of the way the dash charge shots look. It creates like that little cube looking Beyblade spinning top looking thing that just slowly spins around the whole map if you let it, under shot range and shot homing. And I mean, yeah, it's nice to look at it. And when I first encountered that online, like years and years ago, I was thinking, oh god, like, yeah, this is like the most busted shit. I felt like I was fucking Piper Perry in the meme. Like, bro, where did all these fucking black shots come from? All of a sudden I was just fucking surrounded. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too deep into that experience. It's just sounding like something else now. But anyway, I mean, I like where you can take this weapon as far as because, like, yeah, when I think about like where you can push each of these weapons with the modifiers and the powers, and like how well you can optimize some shit, you know, outside of +4 evasion Bumblebee, right? Yeah, this is Black Club is one of those weapons that I just see really causing mayhem on, like, fucking, again, Desert Tomb or Cave of Spirits, kind of like Babel Club. But Babel Club, you know, unlike Black Club, all of its shots are multi-hit, so yeah, you can let them shits loop around the map and it's just a constantly active hitbox. So it's got that going for it over Black Club in that particular aspect. So yeah, it's just it's got a lot going for it, but yeah, the shots are just so slow. So that's all I can really say for you, Black Club. Let's see, Capricorn, that is, says, yeah, that's an easy S for sure. That's an easy S. It's definitely one of the most, it's definitely the most brain dead club. It's definitely the most brain dead club, even more so than Magnus in my opinion, because at least you have to approach with Magnus. This shit, you can just be at like mid range and just keep spamming standing charge shot. I mean, you ain't, it's just I don't know what else to say. It's just that good, really. The homing, it does get severely weaker over a distance. That is the worst part about it. But yeah, the charge time and the home, especially for a club. I mean, dude, like, come on, what we looking at? What we looking at? Fucking a second and a half on a club. That's insane. That's insane, because even Halo, I'm like, whoa, but like that's 2 seconds, you know what I'm saying? That's like just under insight stuff, and it's nowhere near as strong. But Capricorn, they didn't necessarily have to be. It's just, and it's not like Aurum Palm or Fairy Orbiter's level of charge time, but really, yeah, it's like First Blade level, but still, it's on a club, even if its shot isn't like Babel Club levels of damage output, like it doesn't really matter. Like, it's still, you're getting like this damage ratio at this distance, like a 50-meter distance, and which ain't bad for a club. It is, just for comparison, but in general, like, these base stats, this base range and the base damage ain't bad for what you're getting out of the charge time. It's not bad at all. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm tripping. It's not the fastest on the club, but I mean, Magnus is just a whole nother beast entirely. We'll get to that, but yeah, the way you're able to spam this shit from mid range on pretty much any map due to the innate slip shot is just that good. I mean, what else can I say? It doesn't, its homing isn't as good as Atlas, where it can just loop around and shit, but I mean, it's good enough to where you'll pretty much never miss. You don't have to worry about aiming through the walls while abusing slip shot or anything. It's gonna hit somebody and you're gonna have another charge shot ready by the next second, even though it drastically weakens over a distance. I mean, you can make up for that with energy charge and stat modifiers. So it's just I feel like I'm understating it, because I mean, yeah, I mean, besides that, it doesn't really have anything else going for it. If it was just like, really, I guess that in the shot speed, it is really fast. So like, I'll give it that. It's faster than Halo, yeah. I guess, yeah, that's the main thing. Like I said, if Halo had average damage output, I would put it in A, and even then, I'd say Capricorn Club would still be like what Halo Club would want to be, right? So, yeah. It's just, it's like one of those S tier weapons without being like super broken, I guess. Even though it is banned on Discord too, for good reason. I definitely wouldn't be. I faced this shit before. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. It is not fun at all. It's just I'm having trouble summarizing it because I haven't played against it or played with it in so long. But yeah, it is. I do remember it being very good. So I'm not gonna sleep on it at all. And then yeah, pretty much everything I remember about it is in the idle description. So no reason to really go over that. So yeah, getting into Arm Club. You, my friend. Honestly, I'll put Arm Club in B tier. Excuse me. Yeah, I'll put Arm Club in B tier. It's I mean, yeah, mainly because shot speed. Obviously, it's at least not slow. Any club that doesn't have slow shot speed, I feel like can at least be C. And then yeah, it's the only thing rivaling Black Club in shot cancellation. No homing isn't really the worst thing in the world, just because of how massive its charge shots are. I think even for a club, its charge shots are just insanely big. This club has charge shots limited in range, like homing, but are large. Yeah, this is definitely one of the more accurate idle descriptions. I really don't like this though. Like, so many weapons have this same description. Shots have strong potential for nullifying incoming fire. Like, before I really got into, or before I started getting back into this game and knew about, like, you know, the shot cancellation spreadsheet and the Discord and all the info you can find online about this game, I would mainly go by these descriptions and would see this and be like, oh, okay, I'ma want to abuse this weapon so I can overpower other shots and shit. And I mean, yeah, I always noticed it didn't exactly work like that. Like, damage output can factor into, like, I've had somebody, or I fought against somebody using Guardian Orbiters, but my staff was just that strong. Our shots pretty much traded basically. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's definitely not my favorite idle description, but you know, yeah. Or this particular line here isn't my favorite thing to see in the idle descriptions. It's just so they just use it for everything, it feels like. But yeah, this Arm Club's overall idle description pretty accurate. Where do I have it ranked in the overall stats? Okay, so yeah, that's also nice. Yeah, above average charge time for a club. Not quite Capricorn or Halo, of course, but still nice. Actually, yeah, it's about as good as it gets outside of the top 3. Speed, we're not really looking at too much. Same with melee, and then yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's just pretty below average range, but at least again it's stronger over a distance, so that's not bad. Yeah, overall really solid weapon. I like it. Doesn't feel too weak. Like, yeah, you're not, like, when I use this weapon, I'm not looking to like just kill niggas basically. I'm generally just trying to hit somebody and provide support, cancel out other projectiles, and that's pretty much it. So probably, yeah, it wouldn't be my go-to 1v1 weapon, but yeah, especially because it's stronger at a distance. But yeah, it's definitely not a bad support weapon in Light versus Dark. That's mainly why I'd put it in B tier. But yeah, if it was a better standalone weapon and wasn't as slow movement speed wise, because I mean, yeah, it's like, I would say it's not as noticeable, but on some of these at least, because Yeah, there isn't too much of a difference between Aura and the rest of these outside the top 3. But I've always, like Skyscraper, for instance, I've always noticed that shit's just extra slow, extra slow. And then, like, yeah, fucking Arm Club being barely faster than it, or being barely faster than Aura, can't really give you too much credit for it. So, anyway, moving on to Hudra. Yeah, Hudra, that's a solid B tier pick. I don't like it. I just think it's one of the most boring weapons ever. But I mean that standing charge shot is gonna hit you. It ain't really nothing you can do about it. It's not like I was gonna say it's not like Capricorn or Atlas Club on the homing, but maybe it is, and it's just hard to tell because of how slow that standing charge shot is. But you know, slow as it is, I don't know, it's not as slow as some of the other clubs. Like it feels like it is, but then like it gets across the map like faster than you would think for some reason. And then it has the second longest range out of all the clubs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 108. So yeah, that, and the fact that it's again stronger at a distance. I mean, yeah, that's a lot going for it actually. And the damage output on the shot is pretty weak, but I don't know. I guess there's just real value in knowing that shot is gonna hit somebody, because like pretty much every other club, this Hudra, more so than any other club, is like really getting that job done. Like if you wanted to sit back and abuse innate slip shot, this is probably the best one at doing that. Really, I guess Capricorn would be at its right range and distance, but then in general I'd have to give it to Hudra, because I mean Babel Club's got the damage output, Black Club it's got the homing and the shot cancellation, sure, but I don't know, it's just something about Hudra, like especially because I'll be wondering why other people use it, because I don't like it. I just don't see the appeal. I mean, besides the standing charge shot, like I know that shit's gonna hit, but like that's not a good enough reason for me to use it. So I'm not really sure how others feel about this weapon in particular. I do know for whatever reason, anytime I see a computer on it, I know it's a wrap, bro. Them niggas is never missing a shot. You would think, and like they'll sit in the corner trying to avoid everybody else on the map and just be doing their own thing, and so you'll kind of forget about them. You'll maybe even think you're out of their range for even a little bit, but then like that purple fucking Hudra horn will just pop out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, I gotta dodge this shit already again. Like it's maybe it's the NPCs or the computers doing that to me. Give me like some sort of misconception and making me think this shit's better than it is. But yeah, if I was ranking it as a multiplayer computer weapon, oh yeah, this is like one of the best in the game, like top 5 easy. But outside of that, again, besides knowing that standing shot is gonna hit, and I mean, it's gonna hit. It's not gonna do a whole lot of damage, but you know, it's some chip. It's some chip, I guess. I guess I can give it that. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny talking about this weapon actually. So yeah, it's not. Other than that, yeah, it's very tame. It doesn't have a whole lot going for it, I guess. Outside of that, so yeah. B tier is a solid placement for it, at least, or I think, yeah. And it's not super slow in general, like shot speed, even like movement speed a little bit, I guess. Yeah, it's not as slow as the rest of these. So yeah, I guess B tier is a solid placement for now. And last but most certainly not least, this nigga. Yeah, straight to SS you go. Honestly, yeah, I'd say SS behind these two. Just because, I mean, yeah, you do be moving, but not quite like these. You do be spamming charge shot, but not quite like this. So, yeah, I'll still let you hang in SS, but behind these two. Yeah, I mean, it's Magnus Club, kind of like what I was, kind of like that tangent I went on about Ninja Palm the last video. not really. I mean, yeah. Where do I? It's like not really much to say, but then at the same time, where do I start? Cause boy, what a weapon this is. I mean, yeah, fastest club. It's basically like I would say it's basically like 150. And mind you, this is I'm not sure exactly how it works. Cause yeah, I just got the info from Master Knight in the comments, but Magnus being 150% compared to Ore's 100%. So it's just, I'm guessing just 50% faster than Ore Club. But the shit feels like, honestly, yeah, the shit feels like it's like claw level, like not quite Tiger Claw level, but maybe a little faster than Bears. I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that. Either way though, like for a club, Bear Claw level of speed, movement speed is pretty ridiculous. I mean, what can I say about that? The charge time, yeah, it's fucking faster than arm palm on the charge time. Like that's just insane. It's got that going for it, the movement speed, the power. I mean, I know I ranked it fucking what, like 10th or 11th on the range power, but this is just for the charge shot, or the standing charge shot, excuse me. And like 40, that's not, I mean, when you're getting another one like the next second, that's not bad, even for a standing shot. And then yeah, the rest of your projectiles just do so much damage, especially backward dash. I mean, yeah, you're making up for it. And then you have to be so close with this thing anyway. I mean, it's not a bad weapon to go mixed with. You can go either melee or range, and then still get like a good bit of mileage out of both stats. Like yeah, if you go full range and no melee investment, you can still get some mileage out of your melee, and vice versa. So it's just innately that strong, on top of the speed, on top of the charge time. What they try to do to hold it back with the lack of range doesn't really make up for it at all. It's not like it's not like an arm where like sure you're forced to approach, but I don't know, like with this being forced to approach, like yeah, you can just, yeah, it's like Ninja Bomb. You can just walk. You don't have to run or worry about stamina or like what value your shot cancellation is. I mean, maybe you want to on that last one, but like generally it doesn't matter. You just walk, spam charge shot to defend yourself against incoming fire until you get close to your opponent, fuck them up, rinse, repeat. I mean, it's also one of the best weapons with lightweight, evasion, bumblebee, and all that good shit. So yeah, not really much else I can say. It's just that strong. A lot of I guess it's kind of funny thinking about it. My summarization of some of these, yeah, the top tier ones are just that strong, and then the low tier ones are just that like slow or I was gonna say or weak, but really none of these are like really weak. Of course, they're just really slow. So anyway, yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in as always. That is clubs for today. I just want to kind of skim over everything, make sure I'm not missing anything. Like I said, I wasn't going to take shot cancellation into account too much outside of black and arm club, but yeah, that's about it really. So as always, appreciate y'all tuning in. I will be back hopefully before too long for the what's next, cannons. So yeah, I'll catch y'all then. Have a good one. Peace.